All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ryu with Unity Gaming Group, and today we're doing episode 2 of Windrose. Now, I don't know, I can't remember where I left off on the first one. It was kind of a wow, yay, it's finally out, and I kind of just went through a few things, but today we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more. Um, this is more or less just my thoughts so far in the game and what I think of it, and what I could see improve, what I won't, and I'll just go through it all. And we're going to start from one side to the other. So right now you can see I've got a couple of ships out here. This is my original catch over here on the left. These two are frigates. That's a Blackbeard and that's a Brethren. And on the end there, I think that's a Brethren brig. The Brethrens are the ones that carry a little bit more weight. I don't like the balance between the ships with cargo space. I kind of feel like, yeah, I mean, I get it. You're trading cargo space for, uh, for guns and extra strength, right? So you're trying to uh, kind of balance the two. The dead team's like, well, if we give them more cargo, let's make it less damaging and slower. I get why they're doing it. I don't like it. Um, to me, if I'm in a frigate and I've got that much floor space, then I should be able to just store whatever I want. I mean, I should have lots of space. So, I mean, the first thing I would say is you need to increase the stack sizes for sure, um, just globally through the whole game. Um, because when you get out there and you're out exploring, like it's an exploration and piracy game, right? So you're going to go to these islands and you're going to check everything out. You're going to find different resources that you really want and you want to take home, but you don't want to run out of space on one trip. And you do. I mean, you literally do. If I go out right now and I try to collect stuff, I've got this much space in my inventory, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 8. That's 24, plus my last one, which gives me 32 if you count the hot bar. All right. That's nothing for space. And the stacking just sucks. I mean, it just does. I can fill that up just running around and, doing my garden or, you know, gathering stone and wood just on the beach, not even really getting into the island. So it's kind of like, oh, it needs some work. But that's my first criticism. I do like that there's a variety of different containers. Like you can see, there's storage barrels and there's chests and there's crates and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. But we're gonna head instead of getting into the ship thing, let's just go ahead and we're gonna come over here to the base building. A couple of thoughts I had on the base building: flat roof pieces, please. Absolutely. The snapping is just a hair off on some things too. Like if you're trying to snap piers, it doesn't always like put the pier directly where it needs to snap. It just you have to fiddle with it and go up and down and back and forth. And I don't like that you have to get way away from it in order for it to actually snap onto the end of a currently existing pier. That needs some work. It needs some polish. Um, that was like one of my most frustrating things on our dedicated server. We were trying to put a pier together, and we had one that went way out, and then we had one that went way out that way. But you couldn't snap it the way you wanted to because you had to get way back here, and then you had to try to snap the pier by just slowly lowering it down until it finally clicked into place. Because if you got too close, suddenly you were standing in it and it was red. So that's kind of a problem in itself. Definitely need to work on the snapping a little bit, polish building up, make it a little easier. More pieces would be nice too. Um, like I just ended up going, you know what, these don't fit correctly, so I'm just going to plug the holes where I can. Now, it's not the best job, and I'm not really a builder anyways. I mean, I have good ideas, but in actual application, not too good. But yeah, I got my little bunkhouse for my guys. We're all laying down and doing things. That's my bedroom. This is our kitchens, and I've got it organized. You got corn here and leeks there and tomatoes and all that stuff. And then, of course, all the stuff that you need to have in the kitchen, like the shelf, the stove, cutting board, and the little wall shelf. So, but that was pretty good. I like the stuff. I mean, the stuff's not bad. I do find myself wanting more vendor purchasable stuff for decoration. Like, I'd really like to go out and just buy the bed that I want instead of having to try to find it, because I've been to every island like 3 times and I just cannot find a bed that'll actually, like, I want the elegant bed, the big one. And, I can't get that. And then I want the smaller ones for the crew. But, it's kind of a pain in the butt when you can't find the blueprints you want. But this is my crafting room. It's going pretty good. And one of the things I was trying to illustrate, and it's a problem, all right? I haven't done anything with this one yet, but this is going to be like a possibly another sitting lounge, or even like a place to eat or something. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Place for the crew to sit down and lounge. And then out here, of course, I've got all my forges and things and kilns. It's not hang out outside. They'll go to come by and knock me off a cliff again. This is my storage room, and this is one of my big complaints. These storage things, I mean, they're great, but they only hold so much, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 4, so it's 28 slots. All right, so you got 28 slots, and the stacking's just not that great in them. Like, maybe this one has them. Yeah, like this one, it's got 40 per stack. This needs to be like 900 or 1,000 per stack, because, oh my God, I have to use 4 crates. If I make a bunch of these to make a ship, I'm going to need 4 crates. It's like over here. Let me see. Stone. I mean, 40. 40! And you know how much stone you needed to make this? I mean, I literally farmed forever to get the stuff to make this building. So, and there's too many different things. Like, every one of these rows, and that's not even all of the rows because I haven't put them all down yet, is an individual resource. It would be much nicer if you could have one box that held all the resources you could possibly need, rather than have to stack 4 of them to fill them all up to use all the stuff. So, like I said, I just think that the inventory itself needs to be adjusted. I also don't like these signs. See how he's got the mining. This is in like an ore sign, and then you come over here, you've got like a lumber sign. I don't like that. I want to be able to actually put the text on the sign. And the reason is because just because it might be bark, and this might be a log, and this might be plague wood, or this could be, plant fiber versus, flax. I mean, I want to have those specific resource names on my signs. That way I always know where everything is, and I can keep everything extremely organized. I hate when I have to try to figure out where something is. Like, I would never know that the rope is right there, because right now it's marked as an alchemical thing, because there is no rope icon. So what would it be? Would it be an ore? Would it be a wood? I mean, would it be a trade good? I mean, what would it be? So, I mean, there's a lot of confusion there. Like this one right here, this one, it says weapon. All right, and that's gunpowder, because there's no gunpowder. If I could label it gunpowder, it would have been much easier to find it. So I prefer my warehouse to be nice and organized, and it's not. It's not even close. Then I've got my treasure room. It's got like all the stuff I've looted, and like the weapons and armors, which most of it I'm going to actually delete. I might keep that. Major's necklace of strength. But, just all kinds of stuff in here that and here's another thing. These don't do anything anymore. All right? There's no rep to get. Because there's no rep to get, because I've got them all maxed out, it's useless. There needs to be something to do other than get rep with them. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's just more money, but give them multi-uses, because the insignias, I mean, you basically, once you've got your rep up and you've got all the money you could possibly need, you have no reason to go out and sink ships. None at all. There's no reason to go out and sink any ships. I mean, this is, of course, under the assumption that you've done the quest lines, you've done all the quests. So, I mean, you've done everything there is to do right now, right? Like, if you look at mine, I've pretty much done everything. So, once you get to that point, all you can do is really farm. Like, I've been farming and farming and farming, and I mean, I've got a lot of coin. A lot of coin. So, yeah, I'm not hurting on money anymore. Matter of fact, I've got so much money I probably will never have to farm again. I mean, other than that, I mean, the building isn't too bad. You could use more stuff. It'd be easy. It'd be nicer if there was better drops and the respawn. Like, say, if you're running a dedicated server, or even if you're just doing solo, like I am right here, having a way to set it to where loot respawns a lot sooner or at all, because I've been to several camps and tried to go into the chest to see if I could get that special weapon I was looking for, or a blueprint, and I get up there and I clear out the camp and I get to the chests and nothing. And when you're trying to max level to 15, you really run out of content quick. I mean, I'm sure if I was to go through, like, look, if you come right here, I mean, I'm level 11, right, with 400 to go. So that's 50 per if I find the little books that give XP. So I mean, it's going to take a while, but even then, I mean, I've been all up over my map. I mean, everywhere that you could possibly think of that had quests, I've been to, and yeah, nothing. So it's like, what do I do for XP? Well, you've got two choices. You can either keep trying to farm these camps and hope that you get something, or give up until the next content launches. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't get any XP for killing pirates, and you don't get any XP for sinking ships, which I still don't understand why not. I mean, at some point, you have to have more than one function for sinking ships. I mean, you just do. And there should be other ways to make XP, in my opinion. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can take some of that extra money that you just got and you can buy XP books. That'd be nice. Something. Anything. So, to make it a little easier to level up once you've done everything. But that's basically where I'm at right now. I will say that I do like the decorations so far. I haven't seen them all, obviously, because I haven't been able to find the blueprints, because most of the chests aren't dropping anything. I do like the gardening system. This isn't bad. My only problem with this is you don't get enough. And I don't like that you pick one and then you have to immediately plant another one, because it doesn't come back. See, I get it, maybe they're trying to be more realistic, and that's not necessarily true, though. Like, you can pick tomatoes, and then it can reseed itself and regrow. And I just think that would have been a better option than having to constantly go, okay, we're going to come out here and we're going to, put down 200 frickin' flax seeds or leeks, and then we're going to pick them all, and then we got to get 200 more seeds, or, take whatever we got from what we harvested and then replant them all again. It's a big pain in the ass, to be honest. And it's just a lot of work. But I do love the way they look. I mean, they're beautiful. I like the way the fertile soil plots line up and snap. I love the little lime trees. Corn is pretty cool. Once you get the seeds together, man, it's just nonstop planting, and then pick. Then we got bananas here. Not going to bother with shrubs, obviously. But the gardening system's pretty cool, other than the fact that I would really like to either have an option to check that say, just regrow, or, you can manually pull everything up and then replant it all. Because it's also a pain in the ass to get it all in a straight row. Like my rows are kind of crooked. So, yeah, I mean, that whole thing is kind of a pain in the ass. So, also, I don't like that these guys stand in doorways. But I know there's not much you can do about it. They're just going to wander and do their thing. But it's annoying. Just saying. But other than that, I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I love the water. I love the sailing. I love the ship combat. I would like to see some sort of aquatic life. I realize there's really no support right now for swimming in the ocean, although it's the biggest swimming pool in the world. And it's not like people don't go to the beach and swim in the water. So, I mean, I kind of feel like there should be more life. I mean, you can fish and you can get fish, but I mean, no jellyfish, you know, sharks, schools of fish. I'd like to see all that. Maybe a whale here and there. And of course, you got the pirate myth going on, right? So, I mean, if you do any research at all, like we've been to a couple of places that actually had pirates historically, and we've read some of the things that have happened and some of the legends, and yes, sure, a lot of it is folklore, right? But it's cool folklore. It was the era of fear, right? Everybody was scared of the scary pirates that are going to come and they're going to keel haul them and they're going to take their all their wares and they're going to raid their villages and oh my God, Blackbeard, Ever Teach, I mean, it was a big thing. It was an era of fear, and even though the pirates were the ones mostly instilling the fear, they were also fearful themselves. I mean, think about this. They had the English Navy after them. They had, all kinds of superstitious things, ghost ships that they kept seeing, mermaids that would drag sailors down into the deep, Davy Jones' locker, and undead, and ghosts, and haunted this, and haunted that, and, spirits, and oh my God, it's bad luck, it's a bad omen. They had all that stuff. So it makes sense that you'd want to make sure you incorporate those things into this game. Now, I'm not saying that it couldn't survive without all of that folklore, but let's be real. It's a video game, right? So in a video game, a lot of players want to see things like, creatures and different ghosts and things like that because that's what makes it more fun. Now, I could see if you were going for, a true to historical fact pirate game, you wouldn't have undead guys running around on the beaches at night like we do here. You wouldn't have any of that. So you wouldn't have, well, without too much of a spoiler, you wouldn't have people that could cast spells at you on certain islands that you probably haven't gotten to yet. And if you have, you know what I'm talking about. You wouldn't have an enchanting table as one of your crafting stations to make magically imbued weapons. So you wouldn't have that stuff. But they've already gone down that rabbit hole. So obviously they are planning on more content like that. So rather than argue about that in Discord, just accept it for what it is and hope it doesn't get too outlandish. I mean, you want it to be fun and exciting, but you don't want it to be so ridiculous that it turns into Enshrouded, And don't get me wrong, I like Enshrouded. I do. I mean, I really do. But there are certain aspects of Enshrouded that have been so overdone in other games and then in that game that you're just kind of like, meh, I've seen it. I've done it. It's not that exciting anymore. And I just don't want to see that happen here. Now, we had some people in Discord that were saying, oh, Atlas, such a terrible game. And oh my God, it was only terrible if you played the base game or you played the solo game. But if you had a good community with good server owners, with good mods and a good modder, it was a great game. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. There are communities out there that we were a part of way back that are still out and running just fine. There's a guy named Dark, D-A-R-Q. He does a lot of these different mods for Atlas. He runs his own server. And I'm telling you, man, it's fantastic. I mean, it really is. So there are good things to be had with Atlas, but there was a lot of bad too. I mean, I think the most bitter thing about Atlas had nothing to do with the gameplay itself. It had everything to do with the fact that the devs abandoned it and left us with a half-done game. I think if they had kept with it instead of copping out and deciding to just jump ship, you would have seen a much nicer game, and it would have been probably popular to this day. Of course, if it had been, this game might never have shown up. So, yeah, I thank God for small favors, I guess, because Windrose is fantastic. So, I mean, that's my take on it, anyways. But anyways, like I said, there is lore in here. There are undead. Like this is an armored drowned guy, right? Clearly an undead. Not a fun guy to hang out with. You don't want to have a party with him. Oh, and he threw something at me. What is that? What is that? It's disgusting. Well, he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. And he gave me a silver button, undead essence, and pearl. But yeah. So yeah, there is some folklore in here, and there's probably going to be a lot more before it's all said and done. And if you don't like it, I understand. I do. Some people don't like stuff like that. I like it. I would love to see a kraken. I'd love to see a giant humpback whale, a couple of angry, white whales. I'd like to see, octopus and jellyfish and giant sharks, great whites or whatever. I'd like to see sea life. I'd like to see, fish swimming around, seahorses, eels. I mean, I'd like to be able to go underwater and find that sunken ship and find the treasure that's in it, or do a quest that's down there or something. Maybe even see like seals or penguins, depending on what region you're in. Stuff on the beach that's wandering around. I mean, you can find like little crabs and stuff, but it's not the same. It's kind of like meh. So more life to the ocean, because what do you think the Earth was founded on, or what it was created in? I mean, life came from the ocean. Life is the ocean. Earth is life. Life is Earth. Ocean is Earth and life. So, I mean, it makes sense that you'd want to have a very lively and active ocean. So, but, that's just my opinion on it. I mean, what do I know, right? But anyways, I think for the most part, that's really all I have to say about most things. I do find that it could use some work, and it is early access, and I get that. But for an early access game this soon after launch, and it being as well done as it is, I'm impressed. I mean, I really am. I think it's fantastic. So, I mean, I can't complain at all. I really can't. There's only a couple other things I'd like to see that really kind of stand out right now. Like this is my Brethren frigate, and this one's I think it's 52 slots, right? So cargo, but I do like that you can actually have players get on these cannons when you're sailing. I do like the downstairs. I do wish you could put extra crates and storage on the deck or on the underneath it. I think that there needs to be more storage, things that you can access. Like you got all these crates and things, but really, I mean, no. You got all these crates and barrels, but you can only hold 52 items, 52 slots of items. And, each one of these is 28. So, I mean, you should be able to hold thousands of bits of cargo in here. Thousands. But you can't, because none of these work. I also don't like that you can't get in the beds. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if you could, make this your base? Maybe you don't want to have a land base. Maybe you just want to live on your boat. I'd like to have like a place for a chair here, maybe a bed in this corner, and then you could just chill out on your boat, and that's your base. You could put your crafting stations down below, or even up here if you wanted to. I mean, I think that would be fantastic. I just think that there's so much more you could do with the ships. I would also like to be able to customize my sail to some degree, or at least have more designs. I would prefer black sails and maybe an all black wood and black, masts. Maybe I want to be the Black Pearl. Maybe I want to be, a terrifying pirate captain. Maybe I want to dye my clothes all black, even though I'm wearing filibuster stuff. Right now, I look like, a filibuster. Maybe I want to look like a dreaded, pirate king or something. Maybe I want a peg leg. Maybe I want an eye patch. Maybe I want a hook for a hand. You know, things like that. Maybe I want a harpoon on the side so I can harpoon whales or attack sharks. You know, maybe I want to be able to kill ports, like come up to civilian ports and raid them, kill their defenses with my cannons and then have my guys go up on the shore and raid the entire settlement. I mean, lots of room for improvements and possibilities. Like I said, this game has got a huge amount of potential. So, I mean, it is what it is, and it is early access, and we don't know what's truly planned yet because they haven't really revealed that much of it. But I do know that I see a lot of ways to improve upon life here. And can we do one thing, please? Just one thing. Can we just lower the goat population, or at least make it so that they don't, by default, immediately hunt you down and ram you off the side of a building, or off the side of a mountain? I mean, you would think that most goats wouldn't just randomly attack you. They would actually avoid you until you got too close, and then they'd turn around and try to charge you. But yeah, these goats, these guys are pimps, man. They just come up and slap the holy crap right out of you. But anyways, I find that this is a great game. I think it's a good start. And I really don't have anything negative to say other than to offer my suggestions. I haven't found any really bad game-breaking things. So everything seems to work pretty much out of the box. So I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Some adjustments as to how things are handled. Maybe some extra XP here and there. Some server variables for dedicated servers so that we can better customize our INIs. Like if we want to have those loot crates respawning more often or at all, we can set that in the INI file. Things like that would be nice. But ultimately, I really think this is a great game, and I think anybody that picks this up is not going to be disappointed. Now, the one thing I will say is if you're not a survival game person, you're going to find it extremely tedious because it is a survival game as well. Yes, you have to go out and you have to grind your butt off from the very beginning. Now, that's with just about any survival game, though. If you want to build a wood house, you got to go out and you got to get the wood, and then you got to go find the metal to make the nails, and then you got to make the boards, and then you got to make the boards into sides of the houses like walls and ceilings and all that. So I mean that's just the survival game way. So be prepared to put some work into it. You're not going to just get it all handed to you. You're going to have to go get it. But it pays off. Once you've gotten out of that dinghy and you're actually on a catch and you start sinking those level 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, you're going to be in a whole different world and be having just a lot more fun. And boy, when you get into the frigates and the brigs, yeah, that's when the real fun begins. The problem is that by the time you get there, you're probably already going to be done with the quest line and you're going to be like, I don't really need it anymore. But it needs some balancing in that way. But I like the frigates. The only problem I have with it is the line of sight when you're on the wheel. The only way around that And I'll show you real quick and we'll end it there. Now, some people don't know about this, so I'll just show it to you. All right, so we're going to go on to, which one is this? Excuse me. This is the Titan. That's my brethren. So we get on the wheel, right? And then we're sailing, sailing, sailing. And you've got something right in front of you, and you cannot see jack diddly. You can't tell how close you are to the island, how close you are to another ship. You can't see nothing because you've got this giant mast in the way, which, unfortunately, that's the way these are set up. But if you hit the F key, as in Frank, suddenly you can see what's going on. It helps for parking, it helps for maneuvering, it helps for seeing islands off in the distance so you're not crashing into anything. So make sure you remember that when you're sailing. It's very important. But, other than that, man.
Run aground, blow shit up.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm going to end this recording here. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this sent up to YouTube. This is Rio with Unity Gaming Group signing off.